all those things.
Greetings, sentient beings. This broadcast is not intended for children. There will be strong language and adult themes. Since we're starting on time, I expect we don't have any audience yet, because...
Oh, in that case...
Actually, it says there's 4 people watching, so even if all 3 of us are logged in, there's still at least one more person out there.
I just want you to know, I rehearsed all morning on that.
Well, today is Women's Health Day. So I started out properly by having a doctor's appointment first thing this morning.
Oh, lovely.
Pregnant?
No, that was last summer.
Okay, just checking.
No, actually, I was discussing with the doctor my dizzy spells because actually in the last year or so, I've actually fainted twice, which is a brand new thing for me. I'd never fainted before.
Weird, isn't it?
Yeah.
I've only done a legit out cold from standing position once in my life, and it was very weird.
I know somebody
who... it's like I had just enough time for my brain to register we're going down, and then I came to on the floor, and I don't know how long it had been in between.
Yeah, I know somebody who fainted once like that, and they landed it wrong and broke their finger.
Well, that's what I was most afraid of, because both times it's happened to me when I was in the kitchen. So it's like pretty much everything in there are hard surfaces to, hit my head on or something. But you're investigating something called POTS syndrome, which is...
Oh, yeah.
Postural...
Hypotension.
Yeah, postural orthostatic tachycardia syndrome. The long and short of it is that my heart just has trouble adjusting to keep the blood pressure, to keep the blood flowing to my brain when my head switches elevation too quick.
Well, it's just because of all that Tylenol you've been taking.
Well, and... Oh, hey, I'm finished.
Howdy. So, I got a question. If you take enough Tylenol, does it make you release the Epstein files?
Hold on, I'll be back in a second.
I guess that'd be a good time to put... Somebody had this screenshot I came across. Later, this would this is. Oh, I should probably start with this. All of America are being required to say something nice about Charlie Kirk or his failed prosecution. I don't think I've actually heard that specifically, but anyway, in light of this, I'd like to say Charlie Kirk is not in the Epstein files as far as we know. The only way to truly know for sure and honor his legacy is to release the full unredacted Epstein files. Interestingly enough, he actually did want that, so that would actually be a good way of honoring him. Unlike the vitriolic crap that Trump spewed as eulogy.
I can offer a positive tiding. It would probably get Jimmy Kimmel fired, but I can still offer it.
What would that be?
Excuse me. Charlie Kirk blowed up real good.
No. Oh. Well, speaking about Jimmy Kimmel, he did come back. Apparently, there's getting under it's ruffling Trump's feathers. He was saying that how Jimmy's numbers his audience is gone, even though he's currently had over 12 million views on the live show put on YouTube, which is the highest number he's ever had. But yeah, obviously his audience is gone. Yeah.
It was. I thought it was a good show. His monologue was, I think, very sincere.
Yeah, I actually did watch that episode last night. I'm not really a fan of Jimmy Kimmel. I don't think I've really watched his stuff from the past, but I decided to watch that one episode, and yeah, it was decent.
Mm. Yeah, I haven't seen his return episode. I never really watched him much either.
He was barely holding it together.
Yeah.
I've seen him in other monologues where he's very emotional. Well, the one in classic I'm thinking of is when his son, fairly newborn son, was desperately ill and had to have some emergency cardiac surgery at the ripe old age of 3 months or something. And he, took a day or two off from work, of course, or maybe even a week. I don't remember going through that. But then when he came back on, he talked about it, and it was the exact same Jimmy Kimmel. His voice was barely holding it together. You could hear it rattling and wavering, and so his sincerity is completely legit. Nobody can act that good.
Yeah, so when he was he actually was on the verge of tears there when he was talking about Charlie, his wife, forgiving the shooter.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Charlie Kirk's wife hasn't seemed all that upset about it.
Well, she shed all those Kyle Rittenhouse tears.
Mm.
Yeah, well, just I've already seen some speculation that she's just cashing in on it.
Oh, yeah, of course she is. But,
So I haven't seen any inkling of her speaking directly, so I'm,
that was what he was talking about. There was a reference to during the eulogy when she came out. During that, she basically she forgave the shooter for killing Charlie.
yeah,
That was then followed by all the vitriolic crap Trump spewed.
yeah,
As I understand that, that wife of his came into that marriage with $12 million.
yeah. That's what
Yeah.
I've heard too.
Wealthy family.
Well, we don't know for sure because she has some very, very interesting involvement with Trump and some other little things in the background with Jeffrey Epstein too.
Yeah, that's interesting. And I haven't heard about that.
Yeah, you're a good investigator. You go check that out. You'll enjoy it, I'm sure.
So you're wondering how much Epstein got when he sold her?
I don't know.
Yeah, I might look into it. I've got like almost half a dozen other things I need to do research on.
Yep.
Yeah, full plate.
All I can say from that political rally, memorial service, was those shots with her in Trump's arms were the creepiest fucking things I've ever seen in my life. It was like that drunk uncle at your damn confirmation, getting too handsy with all the little girls.
Yeah.
Oy.
Yeah, I heard that it looked like Trump was putting the moves on her.
Well, actually, we should do it in the spirit of that. Are you ready to memorialize?
All I can think of is Melania and what's her name again? Kirk's wife?
Erica.
Erica. Melania, Erica, and Donnie as a threesome. I hope nobody was eating their lunch.
No, sorry, we already have an Erica. We don't have room for another one. Oh. Okay, Jenny, what you eating?
I'm having my lunch.
Huh?
Well, I've been quite busy myself. Hope you're doing well.
Okay, yeah, in the side chat, I forgot to
Well,
see who we had there. We've got Demon Orb and Heathen Granny.
I think I'm doing fairly well. It's not falling off a spoon or anything like that. So, oh, you didn't mean my lunch, did you? I'm sorry.
I'm doing okay, but I did spend the weekend with my family, so, allow for that. Actually, the time I spent with my brother and his wife was good. They're the most supportive people in my family, and the rest of it ranged from being strange to distressing.
What, the home visit?
Yeah.
So basically, an average visit.
Weirder than usual.
You think that was because of transition?
Oh, yeah, definitely. This was the first time any of them had seen me like that, and seeing me in a dress, my mom could not hold it together anymore. Although my sister, who had been, expecting I was going to change my mind, seems to have at least reached a level of acceptance.
That's good.
Because,
That's
she actually gave me a little makeup bag.
Oh, cool.
Aw.
So,
Nice.
yeah, that was a surprise from her.
Yeah, I'm sure there's going to be at least some adjustment too.
Yeah. Yeah, I just, from talking to her on the phone, I thought my mother was accepting it okay, but apparently not.
Well, and it's one thing to kind of have the idea in your head. It's another to see the reality.
Yeah.
How
Well,
did it work out with her by the end of the weekend?
Well, again, just when I saw her on the way out of town, I'm, not sure if she was handling it better or if she had just, was putting on a good face.
Probably just needs time to process.
But yeah, those are also things that, with my autism, I have trouble reading people anyway, so.
Yeah.
Did you No, I'm not going to say that. That would be inappropriate. I'll tell you later.
Okay. Not in public anyway, that's good. But my kitties are glad that I'm back. Not that this is an unusual thing, with my gaming conventions, they're used to me being away for a couple of days at a time. And weekend after this coming weekend, I'll be going to one of my gaming conventions.
Which one?
This Confabulous, which is the one that's put on by a queer group in Minneapolis.
Boy, I had a slur I could throw out at this time, but I'm not going to. I'm trying to reform. Have you noticed?
Yeah. You seem to be watching yourself more, and that's. So what did you do with the real Jenny?
I cut off her feet and sent her packing.
That's how we'll be able to tell.
So what does it mean when your doctor says, "I'm glad that your toe is healing very well. It looks good. Should be non-problematic the rest of the way." You're a very weird person. I told him the joke I've been telling people that doesn't bother me that I got part of my toe cut off. I got 13 others to worry about. And he just giggled like a school child, actually.
All right.
It was particularly fun because I was not only there with him, but with the nurse and a nursing student and an intern. So they all the weird.
It's good to have humor in these kind of moments.
I think so too. I think it's, if even when I had my heart attack and I'm laying in the bed barely conscious and I still fucked around with them.
Yeah.
It's just what you do.
Yeah, well, it's good to break the tension if you can.
Well, excuse me.
Well,
when I was in recovery from the heart attack, in the surgery, I was, as I was waking up, I was still intubated, which is the way things like that are done. And my first approach would try to talk, and of course I couldn't. And the nurse notices it and hands you a little pad and pencil. And I wrote, "Take out this fucking tube." Oh. So they did. You're obviously conscious enough.
Yeah, my doctor had
Excuse me.
had a student shadowing him today, and his name was Ben. So I saw student Dr. Ben today.
Yeah.
Cool.
Was he little, average, or big Ben? I'm sorry. I couldn't. Oh, he was dressed. You don't know.
Yeah, yeah, they take a dim view of me checking that all the time. So. Oh. Ethan has fallen asleep here at my feet, and actually, rather than sleeping, he looks more like he's passed out after an all-weekend bender. Oh. So, unfinished, what did you do this weekend?
So I work Friday through Monday. One thing I've been doing lately, in a effort to lose weight, I've changed my diet to like basically a veggie smoothie that I make myself, and so I've been drinking my lunch lately.
I'm going to give you my weight loss advice and preface it by saying I lost 100 pounds, 100 plus pounds on it.
Yeah.
And it was the easiest thing I've ever done in my life. Intermittent fasting. You start out by having 12 hours where you're allowed to eat and 12 hours that you're not. And you expand it to 16 hours where you don't eat, or even 18 hours for some people. Continue on what you're eating now. You don't have to change that. Just don't eat for. Most people start out at 12 and then move to 16, and that 16 is where I lived, and it was amazing how fast it came off.
Yeah,
And,
see, that's the way I eat normally.
What made it so easy, it was that most of that 16 hours I was asleep at night.
Yep. Hey, Tori. That's the way I eat normally. It's, quite common for me to only eat one meal a day and eat it late at night. But I have to do something now because I have been putting on weight, and Not big on it. Well, especially since Sloth Girl's been gone, that I haven't been, just active and moving and walking as much.
Hmm.
So
What 20 pounds of that are those implants?
well, I didn't
Damn, that would have been a
consider
good
that
segue.
part. I didn't
All right.
consider that part, but that actually kind of makes sense of where I got 10 pounds rather suddenly. But yeah, at this point, I've put on about 25 pounds that I don't need.
Damn.
Yeah, and that's what I mean. It's come on rather quickly. I put on like 15 pounds in the last year, which is probably the most rapid weight gain I've had since puberty.
Well, when I had pneumonia, I lost almost 20 pounds, so there's one way of losing it. Don't recommend that.
Yeah. Well, I've reduced my chances of that because when I was at the doctor today, I also got my flu shot.
Did you take some Tylenol?
No. Actually, even before that stupid statement, I had seen some studies and I was telling people about that, the Tylenol may not actually be doing anything.
Yeah, I was actually looking at studies on that too.
Yeah. And there
It's
was
only
even
something
when
like
I was watching.
20-30%.
Yeah, there was even when I was watching earlier today on YouTube, and basically it was like a I forget what the term she was using was, but where they take together a bunch of these scientific studies, to compare them to each other and average out the results and such.
Meta-analysis?
Yeah, there was a special term for doing that when they're combining studies, but yeah, it was an analysis of 5 different studies on
Meta-study.
Tylenol.
And remember, analysis is actually analysis.
Yep.
Yeah, you're thinking of a meta-study.
Yeah, that wasn't the term she used either. But anyway, but with taking 5 different studies together, they came to the conclusion that Tylenol was barely more effective than sugar pills.
Yeah.
So that, like they figured in over 90% of cases, it was only placebo effect.
There he is. This is what I was looking for. The reports, it's no pain after 2 hours, 52%, and compared with those treated with placebo, 32%.
Well, placebo is very, very powerful.
Yeah.
So it only showed about 20% better than placebo.
I mean, think of
Well,
this.
even 20% is a lot wider than the thing I was watching today was saying that the difference was in the single digits.
Well, that particular study I was looking at was looking only about 1,600 people.
Yeah.
So imagine a broader look at across several studies might give you a better picture.
And
Yeah.
it can be very, very long lasting. Back in the 70s, Donald Trump had some Ovaltine, and he still thinks he's smart.
Nice.
Yep. Yeah. The study that Robert Kennedy Jr. there was citing about it causing autism was also a study that only had like about 100 participants.
Mm-hmm.
And even in the study, if he had read the whole thing, the study itself said that this displays a correlation, but correlation is not causation.
Yeah, well, so you're getting into those triple syllable words, and
Yeah,
Are you talking about the Tylenol thing with the autism?
yeah.
Well, yeah. Even when you correct for that, the correlation drops to 0.
Oh, really?
I recommend Dr. Ben actually did very good breakdown of all that.
I've got his on the watch list, but it's like an hour thing, so I haven't had a chance to see it yet.
Well, post a link.
Let me see if I can get the link.
If you don't have it ready, Mage, I know it. Like I say, it's in one of my watch lists. So
Yeah, I didn't have it specifically on hand here.
You know, the placebo effect, they've actually done tests and things clinically with it. And there have been women who were able to go through childbirth only with placebo effect.
well, yeah,
And
they've shown cases of people who have gone through surgeries with it, but not again, it's effective on some people, not on others.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
There.
I wonder if skeptics would have less effect of it.
No, actually, they found the placebo effect even worse when you know it's a placebo.
Really?
Yeah.
How does that work? I thought the whole point of it was the patient not knowing.
I don't know, but apparently it still works. Don't know if there's a reduced effect, but anyway, there's a link to Ben's show, Dr.
Maybe,
Ben's show.
maybe it only works on the people who don't know the definition of placebo.
OC Calb. I've seen the pharmacy actually label a bottle of sugar pills OC Calb, which of course is placebo backwards. And people bragging like, I'm an OC Calb. Oh, yeah. That's very effective stuff.
Yeah, another common label for placebos is homeopathy.
Mm.
Yeah. God, what a quack science. Well, if we give you nothing, it'll work.
Yeah, you mean the one where the less you get, the more effective it is?
That's it.
Exactly.
You see, you take the stuff if that does something. You put it in 1 drop of that in 100 drops of water. You shake it up and down 3 times. Shake it back and forth 3 times. I don't know why it has to be shaken set specifically that way. And then you take 1 drop of that, put it in another 100 drops of water, and repeat the process. It's at least 100 times.
That kind of sounds like my sex routine.
Well, it also means that the water has selective memory. That it remembers the good stuff and forgets all the shit that was ever dissolved in it.
Yeah, I like that song.
Yep.
Water is amazing. It can, every time it gets cold, it makes itself into the same thing. It's just automatically almost ice. Never mind.
Well, water is very strange in that it's really the only material that expands when it freezes. Everything else contracts as it gets cold.
That's why the Republicans have a problem with enlarged hearts, because they're all so cold. They're just water-based creatures.
Ugly bags of mostly water.
Yes, that's right, Arnold.
That's some Star Trek, like Next Generation.
So, did we all hear about the shooting again this morning?
Yes, I
heard there was a shooting, but I didn't get any of the information on it.
Some young kid, to me, young is probably between 18 and 25 or something like that.
Yeah.
I haven't heard anything official about him politically, but they're already saying he's a leftist, and that he was indiscriminately shooting because 2 detainees died and nobody from ICE was hurt.
Uh,
Okay.
anyway, apparently they said they found these bullets with engravings. That apparently a Sharpie counts as an engraving.
Hmm.
That says anti-ice
Well,
engraved on the bullet.
they used to paint things on bombs in World War II, so Kilroy was here and whatever.
Yeah, well, wasn't that Lorraine Bobbitt, went to Israel and signed one of the missiles? Or, not Bobbitt. Yeah, what's her idiot's name again? I can't remember.
Lauren Boebert or Laura Loomer?
Yeah, Boebert.
Okay.
Yeah.
God, I saw a fun. Oh, I got to see if I saved it and pass it on. If I did, I'll be right back.
Mm. Yeah, they're doing something outside my window, and I can't figure out what it is. Because they had one lane of the street blocked off, and now they were dragging some type of a big black hose from what looked like a pumper truck. Yeah.
Okay.
Hi, Molly.
Oh, poo! I don't know why I didn't save that. God darn.
Oh. What was it about?
We've all seen those lovely little like fake dolls. They all have the same packaging except the lettering's changed and stuff. And, of Hillary Clinton or Anne Conway or just whoever they want to pick on is now a doll with all their accessories that fit the joke. Somebody Halloween mask of Laura Loomer, and it's pretty apparent they just took her actual picture and cartoonized it to make it into this mask. It's absolutely frightening. And it looks exactly like her. So good. I could see that being a legitimate mask. I think it was so fun. Hi, Molly.
Yeah, Molly says they're setting up a very big sprinkler. No, I think that's more the kind of hose that they usually use for sucking out sewers, but
A septic pump, huh?
well, that's what I mean, but there isn't any kind of access cover in the area they're at, so I don't know what they're trying to get. Oh well. No big deal, and I guess it's not too loud. I was just saying it that if anybody was hearing a lot of background noise from me, I'd have to go shut the windows.
Nope,
Don't really hear anything.
Nope. The only background noises have been coming from Jenny.
What?
Although you're being quiet now.
Yep.
What did I do? I mean, I'm just
earlier you were eating.
When you opened your bag, there was a lot of noise.
Yeah.
You can't eat Campbell's chicken soup quietly. You just can't.
Yeah, it was like.
Very faithful recreation there, Mage.
I apologize. I apologize. I could have done much better.
It's okay. Ethan missed me so much he's not even getting terribly annoyed when I'm playing with his toe beans.
That's okay. We can just turn into SMR.
Yeah, I've never quite got that, but it does seem to be a very popular thing.
Apparently, people get turned on by it.
Yeah. Some people get turned on by it. Some people use it to fall asleep.
Turn on by what?
ASMR.
Yeah, ASMR.
Oh.
Whether people are whispering very gently into the microphone.
You know,
Doing shit like that.
a lot of ASMR I could not care less about, but it seems to have become popular with advertisers or the creators of advertising. And there's been a few commercials that use the sounds that make me absolutely insane. The sounds of like water trickling and the overemphasized noises that people make with their mouths and stuff when they're eating, and you know, they think that that's a good thing. Oh yeah, that'll attract people, it'll make us hungry for the cereal or whatever. It's like, no, it makes me want to shoot my television.
We'll just throw scratching your nails across the chalkboard right in the middle of it.
Oh, that I like, actually. I do that myself.
I wonder if the sound of trickling water is making people wet their beds if they're asleep listening to it.
You had to bring that up, didn't you?
So, Jenny, when was the last time?
Last time of what?
That you went to bed?
Well, that's kind of a personal question, especially when you ask it of somebody who has actual bladder issues.
Oh.
Well, you know, especially with our huge audience here, she doesn't want to say it in public. The pump truck is stealing all our thoughts and prayers. I suppose that would work at this building, and you know, having overheard conversations, some of our neighbors are overly Christian. But hey, yesterday and today were supposed to be the rapture. So all the Christians should be gone by now.
Disappointed again.
Well, that's why I had Slothgirl's son here, you know, to help me break into all the apartments of all my Christian neighbors. And, you know, well, I mean, some of them got to have better computers than we do.
Dang, having more than one is helpful.
I was hoping it would be the woman next door, because then I could just take out the living room wall and annex her apartment.
Could do that anyway.
Well, it'd be harder with her living there. You know, but I don't need the second kitchen, so that, you know, then I can make it into a 3-bedroom apartment with a much bigger living room.
You can convert the second kitchen into a bathroom. You know, you got all the plumbing there.
Well, there's already another bathroom. I'd already have 2 bathrooms then.
Sorry about that.
Remember to always mute your microphone before you sneeze.
That thought occurred to me. I didn't think I had
no,
enough time.
they often don't give you any warning, I know.
But not when you fart, because farts are always funny.
I suppose that's about the level of humor on this channel, so.
I guess that would be a good introduction to my song.
You've got a song about farts?
No, I got a song I want to dedicate to Trump.
Okay.
He gets lots of laughs as I point and sneer, nearly always limp, almost impotent, my dear. Gets lost in his hand, he can't make it stand. It's a small dick after all. 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 It's a small dick. Well, it isn't long and it isn't thick. It's a tiny prick that comes too quick. She can't feel it in her twat, but it's all that he's got. It's a small dick after all. 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 It's a small dick. There you go.
Disney would be proud.
Yes. I'm working on another song that's a little bit more flattering, but still comical.
Oh, you don't need to be any more flattering for him.
No, not for him. Someone else.
Oh. Yeah, I still tired from my trip.
Well, that's a long drive. Don't you have to? Oh no, that's right. You're upper Michigan.
Yeah, but it's still it's one of those that, according to Google Maps, that theoretically, if you went nonstop, you could make it in about 6 hours.
Jeez, I'm wiped if I even have to drive 2 hours.
Yeah, but allowing for stops just for fuel and a meal break along the way, it winds up being closer to 8 hours.
Plus traffic too. They don't usually count that in.
Yeah.
We
did real well with that. Just the hour we left, we didn't encounter too much traffic. The worst of it was going through Duluth, of course.
We used to drive 6 hours straight through for a little convention we went to in or technical conference, I should say, in St. Louis every year. I kind of looked forward to it. 6 hours was no big deal.
Well, one time going to see Lavender Lady, I did drive straight through for 19 hours, only stopping for gas.
Yeah, I won't do that anymore.
In the grocery store, I saw a lady who looked like Lavender Lady. I was just kind of gotten me into thinking, if you could have talked to Diana again, and like, I saw somebody who looked like you in the grocery store the other day, and just imagining her saying, "Oh, I feel sorry for them."
Yeah.
It made me laugh thinking about that.
Yeah.
Actually, on the way back, I encountered somebody who looked like Bub. At a pharmacy in Ashland, Wisconsin.
Looked like who?
Beelzebub.
Oh, Bub. I thought you said Bob.
Yeah, he posted a couple of shorts. But he hasn't really been active online either.
No, he was making a few dents in TikTok for a while, but then kind of faded out of that.
Hold on, I got another phone call.
Well, I guess we're waiting for that. I'll get into this thing I've been working on. Now, this whole argument of, you're taking Charlie Kirk's quotes out of context. So here they say this is the full quote. So this is in context. I can't stand in the word empathy. I think empathy is a made-up New Age term, and it does a lot of damage. Sympathy is a better word, because empathy means you are actually feeling what another person felt, and no one can feel what another person feels. So apparently, they usually, when this is quoted, they leave out the part where it says sympathy is a better word, yada yada, and the only quote, I can't stand in the word empathy. I think empathy is a made-up New Age term. It does a lot of damage. All right, so I decided to break this whole thing down, and this is still crap. So, and this is actually was intended. I have this written out as intended to be posted for Twitter or Blue Sky, but we have sort of defining our terms: empathy, the ability to understand and share the feelings, perspectives, or experiences of another person. It involves putting yourself in their shoes. It's often feeling a version of their emotions or imagining their situation vividly. If you see someone and hit their finger with a hammer, you might wince or even feel a slight throbbing in your own finger. Or if you see a child grieving over the loss of a pet, you might also feel grief. This is empathy. I also use an example to kind of hit home with the whole Charlie Kirk thing. Another example, when Charlie Kirk was shot, you might feel personal sadness or loss, especially when you think about how those kids will never see him again. This is
Yeah.
empathy. Sympathy, a feeling of concern or sorrow or pity for another person in suffering or situation, typically from a distance. Sympathy acknowledges someone's pain without necessarily sharing it emotionally or stepping into their perspective. You might have felt sorry that a person hurt their finger or the kid lost their pet and hope things get better, but not win at the sight or agree with the kid. This is sympathy. Again, using the Charlie Kirk thing. And if you can acknowledge that Charlie Kirk shooting was tragic, you can feel bad that his kids has lost their dad, but don't personally feel the sense of loss. That's sympathy. Kirk's preference for sympathy over empathy reveals a misunderstanding or deliberate rejection of empathy's depth. Let's look at least the last part of the quote first. And no one can feel what another person feels. We have what's called mirror neurons. And these allow us to better understand others by simulating what we observe of others doing in our own brains. With empathy, we experience another person's pain as if it were our own, like when we see someone with their hit their finger with a hammer, or the same regions of our brain that allow you to experience pain and will show activity as if you hit your finger with a hammer. This
or
also
like when you see somebody else's toe stapled together.
Yeah, this also occurs with emotional grief. If this is why when you feel loss when you see a kid lose their pet, or thinking of Charlie, his kids losing their dad. The same region of your brain are active as if you were the one to lose someone. Sociopathy is marked by a lack of empathetic response. And people with reduced mirror neuron activity tend to show psychopathic traits. This doesn't have to be a complete lack of empathy. It can simply be a reduced capacity. Empathy is a crucial trait for social animals like us, and it says it fosters social cohesion, cooperation, and motivating pro-social and helping behaviors. Is inhibiting aggression and facilitating communication and survival within groups. By dismissing empathy, Kirk's statement risks aligning with a worldview that prioritizes self-interest over a collective understanding, in which clashes with values of community and mutual support. He ignores its deep roots in human biology, psychology, and sociology. Let's look at the part next. This part next. Empathy is a made-up New Age term. It's not a trendy buzzword, but a concept rooted in philosophical and scientific thought. This misrepresentation comes across as intellectually dishonest or ignorant. Empathy was coined in 1908. It modeled on the word, I'm going to probably screw this up, Fühling, it's a German word, meaning feeling, which was coined by German philosopher Rudolf Flunz as a translation of the Greek term empathia, meaning passion and state of emotion. New Age is a range of spiritual or religious practices that emerged in the 1970s. Therefore, it can't be a made-up New Age term, as it predates even the influences of the New Age movement in the 1950s and 60s. Even before the word empathy was coined, we had the concept. The book, The Theory of Moral Sentiment, it's written in 1759 by Adam Smith, talks about fellow feeling. And Smith referred to this as sympathy, but it describes what we call empathy. This would be included with a screenshot of an excerpt from the book. This is the ability to share and understand the emotions of others. Perhaps this is what Kirk had in mind when he said that he preferred sympathy, which would only make his rhetoric rhetoric about 200 years out of date, but still wrong to call empathy a New Age term. Now let's look at the last part of this quote to cover, and possibly the most damning. It does a lot of damage. Probably I probably don't need to point out how wrong this is based on and everything else I've covered so far. But here we go. He never elaborated. It's more of a gut level dismissal, drop up like a mic in a heated segment. But we can infer from other talking points why he might have seen empathy as doing damage. One episode transcription has Kirk framing empathy as a political sleight of hand, something quotes, very effective when it comes to politics, but ultimately phony and manipulative. He seems to mean it erodes its clear thinking and accountability by blurring boundaries and letting emotions override facts, treating empathy as a virtue signal. Well, like his prey is of Ali Beth Stuckey's toxic empathy. In a video that she did. Here, the damage is ideological capture with empathy as a Trojan horse for policy he saw as weakening America. He had repeatedly contrasted it with real empathy, such as Elon Musk's need for deep empathy for criminal victims. In essence, his gripe wasn't with empathy as a biological or philosophical concept, though he dismisses it as New Age fluff, but with its weaponization in culture wars, ironically, a war he contributed to. He treated empathy like a luxury or liability for the strong, reserved only for the in-group, treating the out-group as having to receive tough love. This is exclusivity. It divides us. The exact opposite of what empathy is meant to be. And that's what I had to have on that.
Yep.
They have done studies and demonstrated that rat populations have empathetic behaviors towards each other. So Charlie Kirk isn't even rat level emotionality.
Well, even horseshoe crabs will help each other out if they see one in distress. Like if they see one that's been flipped upside down by the waves, they will actually work to right that one so it can crawl back into the water.
Yeah, turtles have done, or tortoises, I should say, have been observed doing that same thing.
Yeah, but I mean, horseshoe crabs are one of the most ancient life forms on the planet, and they had it.
Well, so are conservatives.
What do you think of my breakdown? I mean, was it good, bad? Do I need work?
Oh yeah,
work on it?
No, I think you did very well with it.
I was thinking about doing more of these, doing more of his quotes like this. To post up. I wanted to get a few done and before I started posting anything.
Well,
Yeah, good,
you know
good
what?
stuff.
Yeah. What about his quote that a few children being shot is just the price we have to pay for protecting our Second Amendment rights?
Yeah, I wanted to look at that one. I wanted to look at the one where he talks about Michelle Obama and a few other black ladies.
Yeah.
There are a few I want to look at.
Well, I mean, just that one about kids being shot. I mean, would he feel that that's an appropriate price if it was one of his own kids?
I don't know why I'm thinking it, but I thought I heard somebody actually ask him that in an interview. But I don't have a response or anything.
It was about whether how would he react if one of his daughters was if his daughter was raped.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and the long and short of it was that he basically came out saying that if his 10-year-old daughter was raped, he'd make her carry the baby to term.
Yeah, that I recall hearing. Which is, of course, disgusting. But then again, he was disgusting.
Yeah. So Native Atheist has joined us.
Hi, Native Atheist.
Nat Av.
But basically, the whole point of it, that whole thing, is to kind of combat the whole you're taking him out of context argument, by just taking the full quote, full in context quote that they that he has, as in just breaking it down like that into parts, right, and showing how it's still horrible.
Yeah,
Well-
the people who complain about you taking things out of context usually don't even know what the original context was.
The right wingers are never going to read that. It's got way too many words. Doesn't fit on a bumper sticker. You're lost.
Well, it is over 20. It'll be over 20 posts just to fill it in on Twitter or Blue Sky.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know why they even bother with having the posting limit, especially when they, let you join as many as you want together.
Well, you have to pay Elon Musk money to lift that limit.
Yeah, but on Blue Sky they have it too, though. So.
Mm.
Yeah, no. Elon Musk clearly has more money than I can actually literally imagine. So, no point in me sending him any more of mine. Of course, that question kind of brings in the whole thing of Trump's fundraiser campaigns of, why do all these, I'm not talking about like the $1 million donors, but all these people who send in $10 or $20 to his campaign, why are you sending money to someone who has more money than you will ever make in your life?
It's called stupid.
I saw somebody calculate it, and like the average American, that their lifetime earnings would be something like $2.2 million. If they never spent a penny in their life.
I have to disagree with your contention. I think it's appropriate because the person, and you have to apply this to all people, not just the rich guy who's running for office. The idea of running for office is that you are the representative of many people. And it's the many people who are concerned about getting you in and want to put their energy and resources into making that happen. Yes, a candidate should probably be contributing to their own campaign, of course, but it doesn't mean it has to be exclusive. So
My ideal for campaigning is that it's everybody gets a set amount through taxes, and whatever they don't spend, and goes back to the people who has a tax refund. So they're not allowed to spend it, not allowed to get any donations, not allowed to do all this. You just have that one set amount. You can work with that within the limits of that. Everybody's equal.
well, I think that's how the UK does it, or something similar to that.
Yeah, I think there is something similar in the UK.
Yeah, there are some countries.
And they also limit their entire campaign season to a period of several months just before the election.
Yeah, just 3 months.
Yeah, nothing allowed before that. Which would be the nicest thing that the government could do for us. Turn these lunatic voices off.
Well, that's part of the problem is all the people we have in office are spending their entire term running for re-election and never actually doing their job.
Yeah, it's a big problem.
There's plenty of time for both. They just don't do it.
Actually, that is actually a huge problem that a lot of people are complaining about, and that's the reason why they're trying to push for some of the getting this dark money and corporate money out of the politics with some of these more grassroots groups. Because they're finding that they're trying to enter into politics, and they're finding they're having to spend almost all their time campaigning and just to get anywhere.
Yeah.
The campaign time that they spend is typically spent in the hiatuses that they have from their legislative body, vacations in effect, or recess, or whatever you want to call it. Like they get the whole fucking month of August off. And the expectation is that that's so you can go back to your constituents and to either campaign or to discuss what you're up to and these sorts of things.
Well,
Or-
actually would be another good rule we could pass is that, they can't be doing any campaign rallies or anything while Congress is in session.
That would be a good one.
Or you can do like what Trump does in campaign while you're doing a eulogy and while you're at the UN.
Mm-hmm.
Or not allow any. I know they say, oh, you can't use government time for campaigns. They do say that, but they always find a way around it. But just enforce what's already out there.
Yeah. Like, the rally for January 6th that, Trump was not supposed to be allowed to do any political rallies, at the White House.
Yeah, being stricter about the current rules would also help. That's true.
Well, of course, being stricter means nothing when you're dealing with a person who has no concept of limitations.
Yeah. That's been the problem with Trump, and that the Republican Party, refuses to enforce any of the rules.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I only saw bits of Trump's UN speech too, but that in front of the UN, he was basically calling climate change a hoax and telling all the other countries that if they stopped worrying about climate change, their economies would be much better.
Specifically said that the carbon footprint is a hoax.
There were people who were at the UN just laughing out loud at him.
Mm-hmm.
Again, the man is just such a total embarrassment to our country. And for whoever the person was that turned off the escalator and the teleprompter, yes! What a brilliant idea.
Oops, the plug came undone.
Wait, somebody turned off the teleprompter too?
Yep.
Oh, I didn't hear that part.
His teleprompter shut off and he ended up having to wing it for... What was it? How
Well,
long?
no, he has his entire speech in 96 point type on papers in front of him. He has the entire thing written in front of him. The teleprompter just allow him to be looking up, like he actually is faking it.
Yeah, that's how it is for pretty much every politician, really. But
Yeah, and that's fine. I mean, it's technology we have, and everybody uses it. Who cares?
Hey, well, on my shows, I'm reading off of a screen because I can't remember all that stuff if I want to say and exactly how I want to say it.
Yeah, well, that's even when I've done recorded videos. I've done that I've had my script on the screen to read it while I'm recording the voice.
I would like them to require each candidate, or I should say, any political speech given on government property is only written by the individual delivering it. No more speech writers. I mean, I can do speech writing and make somebody look great. And I want, and somebody like Trump doing his own speech writing, we would know exactly who he is.
It's not a bad idea.
Well, there are some people who can have, like a really good understanding of the economy, say, and be brilliant in that regard, but still be very poor orators.
Well, then oration is part of the job.
That is true.
Well, but yeah, I suppose.
Though you also can look at someone like Tim Walz, who admittedly says he's not particularly good at debates.
Yeah.
But no, I for me, if somebody's not a good orator, fine. I mean, they shouldn't be in office, not necessarily, but it tells us more about him. It gives a more truthful image of who this person is. You know what you're getting into with them.
Yeah.
I just do not like the whole concept of speechwriters. Never have.
So, not to derail things, but I was wondering when we were going to start talking about the actual stated topic of the show.
Oh, we covered that before you got here.
Oh, we did not.
Yes, we did. I talked about pots.
Yeah.
I talked about going to the doctor. That was enough.
Yeah, we talked about it.
Did you have something you wanted to say on the topic?
Yeah. I do think that kind of the medical world, at least, the Western medical world in general, kind of has that there's a lot the medical world doesn't know yet about women's health, and but at the same time, I also see, I also see women complaining about, they go to see the doctor, and you can have, your arm, dangling at a really weird angle, and the first thing the doctor, asks is, okay, when was your last period? And on the one hand, I get that, I get that, sometimes doctors might be, overly intrusive about that. On the other hand, there is a lack of knowledge. Doesn't it make sense to kind of fatten up the database?
Yeah, that's true. And, really.
And how do you balance that?
Yeah, their training, their education is not evenly focused, considering that roughly 50% of their patients will be women.
Have you, Alice, been menstruating? What does that got to do with anything?
Actually,
Back off, man. I'm a scientist.
more than 50%, because men are so resistant to ever seeking medical help.
Well, I think tsunami is, I think for a lot of the politicians, that's accurate. That they're only interested in women being domestics and incubators. But yeah, I think it's definitely very good that a lot more women are, entering the health field as doctors. Okay, on to your, what is the link you were giving us there for?
I have a little medical women's medicine anecdote. Goes back again to when I had my heart attack, and I had the surgery and all that kind of stuff, and I'm recovering and things. And I asked the doctor, I said, look, I came into your ER with this group of symptoms, and eventually somebody woke up and said, you're having a heart attack. Some intern, not even the main doctor. And I said, why did I have any of the symptoms? Like they always talk about pain down the one arm, and the shortness of, well, not shortness, but intense pain, crushing pain in the chest. And I said, why didn't I have any of that? And he just said, well, because you're a woman.
Well, women do sometimes have different symptoms for heart attacks, but that doesn't mean they don't have them.
I never said that. You completely misinterpreted my words. And that's the point I was making. Is
calm down.
That was the point I'm making, is that women have a different group of symptoms, but it is not out there in the public view. It is not something that is taught, is not something that is discussed, because it is such a male-biased business.
Yeah. Okay. Antir was saying they found a way to study menstrual blood, and it's telling them a lot of interesting things, particular about endometriosis. And the link she showed, I brought it up, but it's more than half an hour long. But yeah, it's apparently just about women being misdiagnosed. Which that's my late fiance was in pain for over 3 years, in constant pain, before they finally diagnosed that it was endometriosis. And even after that, her doctor still felt that she had to ask me, about having her uterus removed. And it's like, we weren't even married. Why should I have any say in it at all anyway? I mean, just if she's been in chronic pain, what kind of asshole would have said no? Or just all sorts of things. And it's like, it made no sense that they felt they had to ask me before they could schedule the procedure.
See what happens when you take Tylenol, everybody?
You wind up with nifty Fallout themed merchandise,
Yeah.
which I think this is going to go in my classroom. So how is everyone going today? Athena was trying to get my attention.
Oh, my kitties are still just, grateful that I'm back and that they're not being left alone.
Yeah, busy writing a lot of stuff. I slept in today.
I did have, Molly's son was coming and watching after my kitties while I was gone, so it's not like they were completely left alone, but there just wasn't anyone here most of the day.
All right, Athena, if you're going to show up, you have to be on camera. That's the rule.
Yep, and
In Catbot.
well, Sammy's son in particular, most cats, you can often get them to do things by bribing them with treats. Sammy's son is just not that food-oriented. So he won't necessarily do anything for treats, but, he's all in it for the attention.
A cat that's not food oriented?
Yeah.
Really?
Well,
Oh.
he's all in it for the petting, and the one thing I can get him to do anything for is the brush. If I take out his brush and I tap it against something wood a couple of times, he'll come running no matter where he is.
Speaking of brushing, Athena, you were shitting. Athena,
Yeah, I'm sure I'll watch that. I'll watch that later tonight.
Why do you always show your tail?
Well, she's moving in the
show her
audience. Or...
You do realize the camera's up there, right?
Well, the first thing she did was she crawled on your shoulder so she could moon us.
Yeah.
Well, that's how cats greet each other. Is by sniffing.
Hello, look at my butt.
Yeah. Well, basically, that's their introduction. That's a cat's equivalent to handing you their card. Because they're much more oriented. They identify each other by smells rather than sight. So.
Yeah, there's this one stray cat that Molly's starting to become friends with.
That's good for the...
Someone you see when you're out on your walks.
Yeah, there's these two black cats that they belong to somebody in the neighborhood, but I think they kind of abandoned them, and they're just kind of strays now. One of them is real friendly, one of them isn't really friendly. But the friendlier one seems to be becoming friends with Molly.
Yeah, I immediately worry about the idea that somebody abandoned them, and that happens way too often.
And a lot of pets are getting just left behind, not because of abandonment, but because their owners are getting picked up.
Well, yeah, that too. I hadn't thought of that regard. That is something I thought about, during 9/11, was like how many dogs and cats were locked in their apartment and their owner just never came home.
Yeah.
Well, but at least the animals are usually getting to shelters. It's just the Trump regime does not care because the cruelty is the point.
Yeah. Andrea said, I saw a diabetic kid on YouTube who weirdly enjoyed getting their sugar tested. The owner started doing fake tests just to appease him.
Oh, turn the cat into a junkie, huh?
It's kind of like what you were talking about, Purple. About this kind of reminds me of the whole thing with Gene Hackman, and one of the dogs ended up starving to death because it was in a crate and couldn't get out.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man.
Athena, I have noticed you've been happier since your IMS returned.
Oh yeah, you had to give her a different brand of food for a while there.
Yeah, she had a bag, and just like as soon as the IMS came in, she's like, "That's mine. Get it open." I'm like, no, you're going to wait till this bag is finished first.
Now see, Petunia wouldn't ask. Petunia saw a new bag of IMS, and she would immediately chew a hole through the bag, even if her dish was completely full of the exact same food.
Oh, so Mommy, when you talk about Krusty Gnome Nothing, she wasn't a dog killer. She was a puppy assassin. It's just nicer to label her with that label.
Did he?
Go with the South Park episode of her.
Yeah. So Mammy says that when she was growing up, they had a dog that would limp and fake an injury to get attention. I have seen animals do that.
Have you seen that video that goes around of that horse that when it doesn't want to be ridden, just goes down on its side and plays dead?
No.
It's outrageously funny.
Yeah. I've also seen one where a dog is faking an injury to get their human to stay home and not go to work. And then the human says, so you want to go to the park? And then all of a sudden the dog's all frisky and ready to go. Yeah. Oh, okay. Faking.
There's a couple videos that go around TikTok of animals that imitate their injured owners. You know, like a bum leg or ankle or something like that, and they're on crutches or whatever, that the dog will hold the same, corresponding limb up and limp with it.
Yeah, I've seen that.
That's amazing.
I was just trying to find the image of a chicken doing that. This guy's kind of limping on one foot. He's got a crutch, and there's this chicken behind him imitating him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wish I could be on TikTok.
I saw this video yesterday of some guy. He appeared to have been Hispanic, I believe, and he's on crutches and he's lost a leg. It looks like it was amputated mid thigh, and so you wears a regular pair of pants and he's on crutches. So of course there's no foot there, and the pants leg is just limp. But he goes up to people. I don't know if he knows them or what, and gets into it with them, and then kicks them with his, or goes through the motions of kicking him with his missing leg, and everybody flinches. There's no leg there to actually kick him. But everybody still flinches, and then everybody gets a big laugh out of it.
Well, I always wanted to, have somebody make me a set of, fake fingers to go on for the ones I'm missing. And just not really attach them well. So every time I shook somebody's hand, a couple of fingers would fall off. People's reactions.
Now.
Hey, have any of you seen on television, they're actually advertising for people with damage for whatever reason on an arm, a basic, it's not a fake arm, it's a supplement to their arm, to help
prosthetic.
Yeah, we've all seen science working on getting artificial limbs to move based on neural impulse that they pick up on, but they've actually got a consumer available attachment that you can wear that gets your bum arm or whatever working again. It was really kind of amazing.
I wonder how that picks up the signals.
Well, through little sensor pads that they either implant just below the skin or attach to the skin in various areas that the nerves are close to.
Yeah. Of course, Musk wants everybody to get his neurochips.
Yeah. I'm not going to put anything in my brain from Elon Musk.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I also saw that Tylenol causes autism, but I'm sure you discussed that already.
We were talking about that earlier, but if you've got some more input on it.
Hey, I think you might be onto something here. After all, if my mother had taken Tylenol the night I was conceived, I might not have been born with autism.
You usually a woman's taking something for a headache. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it took me a minute. I even started to explain it beforehand.
Yeah, don't take that seriously because RFK Jr. is an idiot.
Yeah.
God, it's just incredible the stupidity. By the way, do you guys know about the rest of the story with autism and Tylenol? About what they recommend to folinic acid, which is related to folic acid, which is good for neural tubes and development and stuff. Anyways, geez, you know where you get that stuff? From the company that Dr. Oz owns.
Yeah, I heard about that.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Why am I not surprised?
I'm not at
all a grift.
I'm not at all surprised Oregon, California, and I think Washington have banded together to say it's like we can't trust the Department of Health and Human Services. We're going to do our own thing.
Yeah, looking like it.
Looks like the Northeast, a couple of Northeastern states are doing the same.
Well, and this is going to be the start of us, dividing the country for whatever comes next, that we're going to have the states that are going to disregard the recommendations of the federal government.
Oklahoma has just decided that every high school in the state must have a Charlie Kirk Turning Point chapter, club chapter in their high schools.
Really?
Yep.
Oh God.
Well, on the positive side, the Oklahoma State Supreme Court said that the curriculum requiring them to teach Bible and history classes was unconstitutional, and they've thrown the whole thing out.
I mean, the Bible's no worse than any other history texts that were written during the time it was, but it was not.
Yeah, well, that's the thing, that it was written by people 2,000 years ago who didn't understand anything happening outside their village.
I mean, history is more written as a moral guide for people, and even Livy, when he wrote his history, made sure, especially since there was a fire during early in Rome's history where there were just no records kept or no records survived. He said, it's like, hey, I don't know if these things happened, but these are the tales that have been passed down since the founding of the city. He didn't insist that it was literal, which today's modern Christians do with the Bible.
I just disgusted that people are so ill-educated and so easily duped that they actually think that the Bible is, quote, word of God, or word, Jesus' actual words. It's like, dudes, it shows me you've never read the Bible. B, you've never studied the history of the Bible. That none of these people that they're quoting were alive when it was written by hundreds of years. Nobody heard their words. Oh, it's just complete bullshit.
Well, it is possible that, the letters of Peter may, at least some of them, may have actually been written by him.
I think you mean
Where's
Paul.
the originals?
I said it's possible. I didn't say there was any evidence of it.
Yeah,
Well,
but I think you mean Paul, not Peter.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
Like it matters.
Yeah, the ones
We don't even
attributed
know
to
those
Peter
people
are
existed.
definitely not by Peter.
Yeah, but even the most recent parts of it, nothing was written within 40 years of when Jesus lived. So in those times, that was definitely a couple of generations past.
And all the Gospels were written by the same guy.
Not quite, but it is shown that some are just copied from the others. And literally, in some cases, copy and paste sections.
And every parable that's in the Bible can be traced back to another culture many, many generations before.
Yep.
And scientifically, things like the flood could never occur, and burning bushes can't talk, and neither can snakes. Well, lawyer type snakes can.
Yeah, we would have done much better if we had just, gone back to the time of Hammurabi and built on that and skipped all that stuff in between.
Yes, demon, perfect. That is exactly correct.
Yes, the Goat Herder's Guide to the Galaxy.
Or as I like to call it, capital BUY, capital B, capital U, capital L, the Bible.
Hey, at least I'm going to go have a religious experience when I go see the Book of Mormon musical in October.
Well, that's a very positive religious experience. I
That would
personally
be
have one
fun
every
to
time
see.
I masturbate, but that's different.
Can I help you, Athena? Do you want some playtime, Athena?
I apologize, Sinister, when you said that. And can I help you? And I was visualizing your sentence as you were speaking it, and I never hit Athena. I hit you. And so never mind. I misquoted you only in my own brain, and it's weird. Never mind.
Dinner, baby.
Wait.
Yeah, so
Okay, looking this up a little bit, seems Paul's letters are usually considered to be authentic because of a consistent narrative throughout them. It fits with
hey.
It fits with other consistent historical accounts we know of the guy, and we also have people, contemporaries. He's apparently referencing some of this stuff, even though we don't have direct material.
See, the word accounts is a problem for me. Various accounts. Okay, well, who was the account? Who said this thing is true? Sorry.
Yeah.
Well,
It's from other historical accounts.
Yeah, anonymous sources don't cut it.
Historical texts that reference to the guy.
That is the thing, that none of them were witnesses, so at best they were writing down what somebody else told them they saw.
I'm curious about contemporary sources. Are they talking about something extra biblical?
Yeah. But that could still be a word of mouth thing, that they're talking about something extra biblical only in that he talked to someone who claimed they were a witness. Well, because, there really wasn't a lot of written text for them to refer to at that time.
Well, what what I'm reading here, the contemporary is it's basically a scholar who apparently was looking at way way the scholar was looking at it is apparently looking at the original text, as far as we can tell. But
I also find it very convenient that the Bible has all these people involved in it who can supposedly read and write, with offering no proof of that, since they didn't have things like schools, or books.
Well, the Roman Empire did have schools, but not what the type you're thinking of.
depends on who you're talking about too, because if you're talking about somebody fairly wealthy and in high regard, they're gonna probably have education for be able to read and write, and even some of the lower class, they did have writing. It would have been more phonetic.
Well, Rome specifically had gladiatorial combat schools where they trained the gladiators.
Which has a lot to do with what Christianity is.
Yeah, although, it is a misconception that, all the commoners would have been illiterate. That wasn't necessarily the case. That, they would have had probably basic reading and writing skills.
Yeah.
Just as far as being able to do their bits of commerce that they need to do.
Yeah, what we consider illiterate is different than what they would consider illiterate.
Yeah.
I believe it was based on whether you knew Latin or not, if I remember correctly.
Well, Latin was the language of the realm of the Roman Empire. It wasn't the language of a local group.
Yeah, the common tongue of the local community.
And that was true even in Italy. Italy was not a cohesive single tribe. Italy had dozens of different tribes that made up what is Italy.
Mm-hmm.
They all spoke different languages and had their own separate histories. See what happens when you pay attention in school. You end up with people like us who actually know things.
Yeah, I didn't learn so much in school as it was just the fact that the library was the only place that was safe when I was a kid, so I wound up spending time just researching pointless things.
Well, as the great Paul Simon once said, when I think back on all the crap I learned in high school.
Yeah.
It's a wonder I can think at all.
Let's see here. I think I learned several ways of how to kill somebody with my bare hands in high school.
When Paul Simon had the hit song Cecilia, that was my Latin teacher's name. We had lots of fun with her.
Okay.
We actually, there was one thing, it was planned. I wasn't part of it. I was an observer. It was just regular Latin class, and a couple of guys had been intentionally fucking around and making a disturbance. And when she called them out, they all three got up and started singing Cecilia. You're breaking my heart.
Oh, I learned lots of things in high schools. The most recent thing I learned in high school is that my computer science degree qualifies me to work at a GameStop.
Oh.
Apparently GameStop has higher standards than I realized.
How do they rationalize that?
I think they thought working at a GameStop was the highest goal for anyone with a computer science degree because
that I believe.
Well, when I was in high school, every semester I signed up for a typing course, and every time my guidance counselor took it off my schedule, saying, "What did a boy need typing for? That's a girl's course." So he was wrong on 2 accounts there. And if I ever find this man, I will strangle him with a keyboard cable.
There's a good chance he is dead by now anyway.
Most likely.
I mean, after a certain age, most of your high school teachers are probably dead.
Yeah.
I went golfing with my mom once when I was in high school. We played hooky and we went golfing together. God, I was so bad. Anyways, we went down to Greenfield Park Golf Course in Milwaukee County, and she ran into her science teacher from high school. And of course,
with the golf cart, it wouldn't have been that bad.
she hadn't seen him in let's see, what would it have been by then?
Yeah, me son.
It would have been by at least 20
Yes,
years
Papa.
since she last saw him, and he recognized her, called her by name, and then she told him that she was an emergency room nurse and all that kind of stuff, and he was, oh God, I'm so glad you paid it. You were always so smart in class, and just all this stuff. It was neat to hear a teacher talk about your mom that way.
Mm-hmm.
And I always wanted to run into a couple of my teachers that I really cared about.
I always wanted to run over a couple of my teachers.
Yeah. Well, Aunt Jer, almost every job requires typing now. So.
One of my favorite teachers was John Birmingham. He was a young guy in his 20s, real short, crew cut, but he was balding, kind of haircut, and slightly hyperactive, but very, very smart. And he was my first teacher who actually recognized that I had a brain, and offered me respect for who he thought I was. It was not just, I'll just never forget him, and I wish in fact he kept my semester project for forever to show other students over the years. It was a salt map of
I just remembered something. Sorry.
Wisconsin.
Hold on. I just remembered something, so I need to
Go ahead.
attend a meeting.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you wanted to speak. I'll be quiet.
Okay. Actually, I have to step away for a minute here. I'll be right back.
I think I got to go to for just a moment.
Oh, you're gonna have to leave me to have to deal with everything, huh?
Well, you and unfinished, so you're not stuck monologuing. You've got somebody here to bounce things off of.
Yeah, right.
Hey,
So I
Jenni,
can monologue.
how goes the project?
I'm some real life things are getting in the way, so I'm kind of stalled on it for the moment. But thanks for asking.
You send me that that text that I read, and it looks fine. But there was a sentence or two I wanted to add. May I do that and offer you a revision?
Certainly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm not submitting it expecting it to be accepted. I'm just offering it, and you do what you
right. The idea is we collaborate, we talk,
Yeah.
we put our heads together.
Yeah, nothing I say is a demand. So just so you know. All right.
Gotcha.
She says that now.
No, I know. I've been assistant director in lots of films. I know when to shut up. It's your role is your role. And that young woman I sent your way actually sent me a letter yesterday, a DM apologizing for not getting a hold of you yet, but she still intends to. She's just been busy.
Okay. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, one thing that I appreciate about you doing that intro as a voiceover. My original idea had been to have that intro as just white text on a black screen, but if it's a voiceover, that frees me up to put actual pictures of Shannon and the rest of her crew on screen, and kind of some of the video footage of them getting kind of taking the flag up the mountain as sort of a prelude to the finale.
That would be a good way. Text on white would be just fine too, but pictures are better.
Yeah.
And what I wanted to add, I don't have exactly in my head what I wanted to add, but I felt a little bit more backstory, a sentence or two that creates backstory was what I wanted to throw in.
All right. Yeah. Get shoot it to me when you get a chance.
Okay.
And for I have in mind like a credit roll after the song of who all participated, and then I've got my own music that I had already purchased from a royalty-free music website. So what I was planning on using for my own channel for intros and outros, I'll use it for that, for the outro, for the the credit roll.
You were okay with getting allies, not just trans people specific?
Yeah.
Okay. I have a couple of people I wanted to see if they were interested.
Yeah, there's I've got Bree, Ember, Carly, and and like three other allies. So I got like 3 trans and 3 allies at this point. And there's like 7 slots. So I've got almost the whole thing, assigned.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was kind of wondering how many people you'd need.
But I don't have any trans men yet.
Oh, well, should ask Dr. Ben about that.
I have.
Okay.
And basically he'd love, he loves the idea, but real life things prevent him from
have the time.
From participating right
now. Doesn't he actually do singing? Or am I thinking of somebody else?
Well, I know he does karaoke.
How would you feel about somebody who's not an American citizen?
A
trans man.
We can't have any of them damn foreigners in here.
I guess it's more a matter of how would they feel about it, since it's an American song.
Okay, one person I've met recently who I just think is very, very smart. Like I said, is a psychologist, a PhD type person, young. And I think if their singing voice would be anything like their speaking voice, I think they'd be good. I don't want to send you a Roseanne Barr or anything like that.
Well,
thank you for that.
My current plan is nobody is going to be on camera, so if they grab their crotch while they're singing, it doesn't matter. I don't know if you get that reference or not, Jenny.
No, I'm sorry, I don't.
What? So there was one time that Roseanne Barr was asked to sing the national anthem at a baseball game.
Yeah, I saw that, and she was.
And when she left the mound, she grabbed her crotch and spat.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Yeah.
Well, that actually is appropriate in a baseball game. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. A pitcher, yeah.
I thought you were making a Michael Jackson reference.
No, that was my flag when you just mentioned it.
Yeah, I can't think of whoever had the idea to have her sing the national anthem in the first place. I mean, of all the celebrities you could have gotten.
Well, you think you would at least try to listen to them first?
Well, there was absolutely no indication she could sing to begin with.
We can get William Shatner to do the national anthem. Might take a while, but hey.
No, he's Canadian. Canadian. Hey, I'm trying to boil up a new meme to see if I can get it to go viral. And it basically will pose the question: would you prefer to see all the red states congeal and become the United States, or all the blue states congeal and become Canada?
Yeah, I would like to see Canada just absorb all the northern states. Hey, Sammy.
Bobby?
Now, Sammy's son's getting comfortable here.
What is it with trans men and the letter B?
Oh, that's where you're getting Bobby was.
Yeah, Bobby.
Okay.
Okay.
Ontario is also voting for blue states to become Canada.
I think that would be so fair of a thing to happen to this country.
I think if all the blue states merged with Canada, wouldn't that make it the biggest country in the world?
It would get right up there. Between California and the East Coast, holy shit. That's
Are we talking population or land area?
Well, land area, I think it definitely would be.
No. Soviet Union's got everything beat. Excuse me, Russia has everything. How's that for decades? Russia has everybody beat on that approach.
Is it?
Oh God, yes.
Okay. I guess Russia's bigger than I realized.
And if
keep in mind, Russia's still in.
You say, well, the country of Africa too.
Oh well, yeah, the country of Africa.
Let's see here. Russia.
The president thinks Africa's a country. Oh my God.
What?
Yeah. Trump has referred to Africa as being a country.
Oh, jeez. Let's see. Russia is 17,125,591 in square kilometers.
Okay, we'll go with the 17 million just to. Okay, and what is Canada currently?
Let's see here.
And they better not be counting ice.
Looks like it maybe about. So I'm getting the in square miles here right off the bat. Let's go in square miles since that's what I'm looking at. So Canada is 3.855 million in square miles, and Russia was 6.6002 million in square miles.
Remember, Russia extends from the international date line to what the fuck in London.
The Prime Meridian.
Yes, thank you.
So almost half size.
Okay.
Now, I do take issue with what you said, Purple, about Trump thinks that Africa is a country, because that implies that Trump thinks.
Okay, he believes Africa is
his garbage pile mixes up the idea of that. It is so embarrassing to have such a stupid man to be our supposed leader.
Yeah. And it blows my mind that so many people just drink the Kool-Aid and think he's the bee's knees.
Yeah.
God, you're the only person I've ever heard use that expression other than me.
I've used it a few times, but yeah.
It was kind of 50-50 whether I was going to say that or the cat's meow.
Oh, I always go for the bees. Way too many cats, not enough bees.
All right, Papa. I'm trying to find an image here.
Of what?
Well, if I tell you, that would spoil it.
Well,
No, I keep going back to this one. Yeah, share screen. Yeah, this is my best explanation for Trump.
I know those two are characters, but I don't get the reference.
Oh, Pinky and the Brain were lab mice that the brain was trying to take over the world every night, but somehow his plans always went wrong at the last moment.
Okay.
And Pinky was was completely oblivious, and at one point, the brain asked Pinky, "It must be terribly taxing having to be an incompetent boob constantly." And Pinky says, "Oh, you have no idea." And every episode of that would start with Pinky saying, "Well, Brain, what are we going to do tonight?" "The same thing we do every night. Yeah, Pinky, try to take over the world."
Smokey, you think it's a long way to the shops? Well, Russia's bigger than that. I know that's paraphrasing a line from Hitchhiker's Guide, but yeah. Yeah, well, one of my cats, Ethan, I say he has koala brain. It is perfectly smooth. I don't think he has any wrinkles there at all.
Hey, did any of you hear about the terrorist attack that the Secret Service busted the same day as the escalator?
No.
No, I think I heard that one.
This one is actually terrifying. The Secret Service busted what is believed to be a Chinese ring of terrorists who had several server farms going with over 3,000 servers, all geared to take down the communication systems of the East Coast, primarily New York. And it was apparently days from operational, and they shut it down. And there was films of it on NBC News last night, and I'm talking rooms filled with hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of servers, and that there was several locations of it, and it would have done exactly what they said it would have done.
Well, to take down the communication network of the East Coast, I wonder if they were going to try to take it down when the UN was meeting and disrupt the communication then.
I don't know, but it was going to be a DNS type style attack, just flood a server with or the target with so much traffic that it freezes, that it can't deal with any of it.
Yeah.
So it's all very real.
Although, Jenny, did you realize that you and I are terrorists?
Yes, I do. I've thought that for years.
Yeah, I had to send that out to my support group that we have all been classified as a terrorist cell.
By President Shit for Brains.
The Heritage Foundation has been pushing the FBI to declare all trans people terrorists.
And they have working models of their language, and it will be introduced officially quite soon, I'm sure.
Yep. And that's going to be their excuse for rounding us up and putting us in concentration camps.
Literally taking us off the streets. That's why your guys like that I've been warning about, like Ken Paxton in Texas, the AG, demanding all the medical records from all the trans people across the entire country from hospitals.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody you're treating who's trans, you have to give us all their information. You know, I don't know where he gets off thinking that he as Texas AG can demand a hospital in Minnesota to give them their records, but they seem to think they can, and they've been suing in courts and all sorts of things. This is tough for it.
Well, with the rhetoric they're pushing, how long do you think it'll go before he declares everyone who's a Democrat as a terrorist?
Oh yeah,
expect that to come too.
Yeah, I'm sure they're pushing for that too. Anyone who has leftist ideals.
Well, they've named Antifa as a terrorist organization.
Yeah.
I will say there is one somewhat dishonest take on that. It's not just it's anti-fast. This is also how they're militantly. So.
Yep. Hey, Ember.
Defining quality, but anyway.
Ember's asking, how can we even be?
There's still not an organization though.
But by definition, as antifas, whatever. I like antifas myself. You know, all those soldiers in World War II were too.
Well, I did make a good argument that Captain America would classify.
Ember, I think you need to give us the background on that. I don't remember W declaring sewing circles as terrorist organizations. If you're not driving, Ember, you're welcome to come in and join us. The link's in my Discord.
I spent $1 on one of my favorite gummies yesterday.
Yeah, what'd you get?
Sunkiss brand drink powder tubes. You know, the little tube things you tear off the top and add it to your water bottle.
Yeah.
And it makes it into a sweet, sugary delight.
Back in my day, we called that Kool-Aid.
Yeah, well, these are, you know, portable, personal Kool-Aids.
Yeah, they're single serving size.
Yeah, and I like the pineapple, and I like the orange, and I like to mix them together.
Mm-hmm.
Do you put your lime in your coconut?
And bring a boat up.
Well, what I'm drinking right now is half lemonade and half ginger ale. So I get, you know, like fizzy lemonade.
Mage, can I call you in the morning?
I was muted when I was trying to say it.
So you can tell me what to do?
Like the doctor said, you know, take 2 aspirin and call me in the morning. Will that help? No, but my alarm clock's broken. Yeah, they did an EKG on me, and he said something about ordering a monitor that I'll have to like wear for 3 days, just to see if my heart has any irregular rhythms.
Your basic halter monitor.
Yep.
Although they're called that because they were actually designed like a women's halter top. And all the electrodes and stuff in there now. Now it's a little device that you keep in your pocket, and you have a couple things that you're attached to, and that's it.
Yep. Yeah, I remember when I was 14, they had me wear one for a couple of days because when they were, when they were checking me for to get a surgery, they discovered I had a bit of a heart flutter.
Yes, the Patriot Act, which of course is still with us, and they're using against us today. Yep. And who is the only senator in the entire government, the only person in the entire government who voted against the Patriot Act, Senator Russ Feingold of Wisconsin. And when asked why he voted against it, he says, "Well, I read it."
Yeah. Yeah, there was some shit in there that really went way too far. And it was supposed to expire, but they renewed it.
Yeah, and he got voted out of office and was replaced by the Nazi Ron Johnson, who's still in that office to date.
Mm-hmm.
Disgusting. I worked for Feingold campaign.
Well, but now even some of the right-wing broadcasters are questioning if Trump's censorship goes too far. Although most of them are wondering about it on the idea that after Trump's out of office, what happens if we get a Democrat who uses that same rule against us?
That actually is a good arguing point against this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Don't worry, no Democrat has the balls to do something like that. Democratic Party is a waste of time nowadays.
Yeah.
They are.
But,
the Democrats,
yeah.
Democratic parties, okay, not only did our little buddies like Chuck Schumer and Hakeem Jeffries, of all people, vote for, and Ted Lieu did too, voted for this honoring Charlie fucking Kirk. Are you kidding me?
Oh, I didn't know about that one.
Yeah. And the portion of the reconciliation bill passed the House that basically sets up the official definition of trans people being terrorists.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and now it's to the Senate. And so you'll get Lisa Murkowski saying, "Well, I don't know about this," but you'll vote for it anyway. She's a fucking sellout bitch.
Yeah.
And Susan Collins of Maine, and oh, geez, these people.
Well, I think a lot of them ended their career by voting for the stupid, ugly bill.
Yeah, and that's the whole thing, that the Democrats are not putting up, really any kind of real resistance to these things. They're not speaking out. They're not telling people what's in the bills before they're voted on.
Well, they're using it as cover that it's a reconciliation bill for continued funding, and it has to be passed by September 30th. So they'll vote for it just so that they don't get blamed. Oh, those Democrats held the budget up.
Mm-hmm.
It's so nice that I'm not in a position to say I told you so, because I am in a position to say I told you so.
Yeah.
As much as I want to say I told you so, it's not going to help with these.
Yeah, it's not going to help.
Well,
and nor is it. Sorry. Nor is it going. Go ahead.
I still think that we should push for Tim Walz to be our next president.
No,
whether the Democrats want him or not.
He's running for re-election for governor.
No.
Hey there, I've been working on my Minnesota accent. Still needs work.
Well, I've still got the plan laid out for us, just going out there and moving all the border markers 300 miles south.
400. I'd like to be part of it too.
Okay, yeah, you're right. I was only moving them far enough south to take in Minneapolis, not to get Rochester.
Yeah, you city scum. You don't care about us rural folks that feed you.
Well, I have heard some people float with the idea that Jon Stewart should run for president.
Yeah, I saw somebody put up a meme of Jon Stewart for president, Stephen Colbert for vice president.
I would prefer him over Gavin Newsom.
Actually, I would too.
Well, that's what I'm really afraid of, is that for the next presidential election, if we have one, the Democrats are going to put up something that most people in the country have never heard of. And they're going to get the same kind of lackluster response they had last time around, that half of the registered Democrats will just sit out the election because they don't see any reason to vote for this person.
that's a likely outcome with
Well,
the way the Democrats run.
Well-
except something they might not be aware of is that the Bernie Sanders style of social democracy is really starting to take hold in a lot of grassroots circles.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but the Democrats actively suppressed that during their
Yeah, that's fine. Except this time it's getting together in such a way away from the Democratic Party
Mm-hmm.
and building still. There could be a very big change in the Democratic Party in this next couple of elections. It won't happen overnight, but it's
Well,
they definitely need a big change. That's for
yes,
sure.
they do.
a big part of it is for if this next election, if they actually have primaries and they actually listen to the results of the primaries.
That's a big
Um, I'm only sure about one thing regarding the next election, and that's that Trump will not be on the ticket.
I would not be so sure of that.
It's a midterm.
Next
No.
presidential election.
Oh,
Yeah, but the Republicans are, they've got ideas they're bringing up for how to.
I'm not saying
that.
Trump. I'm not saying his successor won't be on the ticket. I just don't think Trump's health is going to hold out that long.
I think if he's alive, they might put him on the ticket anyway because they know their MAGA base would defect if they, put anybody else on while he's still alive.
Thinking they might just run him while he's dead.
Okay, that I wouldn't put past them, but I don't think I think cheeseburgers are finally going to catch up to him.
Yeah, well, I could see the Republicans, doing the Weekend at Bernie's thing and putting Trump in. Just don't tell anybody he's dead until after the election, and we'll be okay, right? Then whoever's vice president gets to be president.
that would be JD Vance, the puppet of Curtis Yarvin and Peter Thiel and the Heritage Foundation.
Well, the good news is if JD Vance
and have
Porpoise, you muted yourself.
And have any of you, since I last mentioned Curtis Yarvin, looked him up yet? No, you haven't.
I know who he is. But the thing I think you keep missing is JD Vance has the charisma of a turnip and the leadership abilities of one.
Yeah.
Once Trump dies, MAGA cult will die, hopefully, because that's usually what happens to cults of personality.
Well, I can see that MAGA as a whole group probably won't support anyone the Republicans put up after him.
And
except the biggest thing that you're all missing is that it doesn't.
Hold on. JD Vance is not a good choice, but there will be too much backbiting, and fighting amongst each other is that nothing will get done.
Except the point you're all missing is that it won't matter because we are in a fascist dictatorship and they have already set things up so that they won't even need to have an election ever again, as Trump said in his campaign.
But that relies on Trump continuing to be the figure.
No, it doesn't.
Yes, it does.
No.
No. I could see that, if the Republicans prevent them from being a fair election, that whatever candidate they put up, that the election would just be theater and they would take it anyway.
Just like all the other little despot nations around the world, that's how it's done. They can have an election all they want, but the winner's already chosen. Even today.
Well, and unfortunately, the Republicans have been positioning for that kind of thing for a long time.
People think. Oh, I'm sorry.
Getting people like the election commissioners in as many states as possible as being the Republican lapdogs.
People think Trump is running things. Trump is not running things. Trump is taking orders from Peter Thiel and Curtis Yarvin and the Heritage Foundation structure. It has all been predetermined for years. They started on this whole mechanism back in his first term, and it's solidly in place.
Yeah, that's
we cannot defeat it that way.
Trump is doing the Zappa Beetlebrox, that the position of the president is not to wield power, but to attract attention away from it.
But yeah, MAGA's not going to survive Donald Trump's death. And
Yeah.
Peter Thiel and Curtis Yarvin need Trump to be the figurehead.
All right, I tell you what, Porpoise, I'm going to bet you $5. Well, actually, it'll have to be, I suppose, 5 soap tickets or something, because we'll be in concentration camps. That MAGA survives.
No, I don't think MAGA as a group will survive, because they won't have one leader. They'll splinter off into several different factions.
Oh, the ideologies will still be around, but MAGA as a movement won't be.
Yeah.
I mean, it was very unusual for a group like the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints to continue after Joseph Smith's death.
Mm-hmm.
The danger is if they find someone equally as charismatic or nearly as charismatic. I can't believe I'm describing Donald Trump as having charisma.
Yeah. Well,
it's relative. Charisma for his group is different than charisma for our group.
Yeah. What makes the
You cut out. No, I cut out.
What makes the charismatic appeal, is going to be different depending on the audience you're reaching. Okay, how about Bigfoot for president?
Yeah, hail Bigfoot.
Bigfoot doesn't exist.
And hail Nero.
Well, it wouldn't be the first time that a fictional character got elected to office.
Mickey Mouse?
Well, Mickey Mouse.
Ronald Reagan?
Good one, Porpoise.
Sorry.
No,
Sorry.
you're absolutely correct. Mr. Death Valley days.
Yeah, there was a town in Minnesota that elected Bullwinkle J. Moose for a mayor.
I'd accept. Nah, Rocky would have to be the power behind the scenes there. Because Rocky was the brains of that operation.
But Bullwinkle had the charisma. That was in Frostbite Falls, Minnesota.
I don't think it was just Frostbite Falls. I think another city did it, but hey, the entire state of Minnesota elected an ex-pro wrestler.
There is a town in Alaska that's had a cat as its mayor for 10 years.
And Dildo in Canada has Jimmy Kimmel as their mayor.
There was also a town that's been doing it as a legacy, that they had elected a dog mayor, and when that dog died, they elected his son, and they're now on the third generation that they have had a dog mayor for 20 years, and it's been the same lineage, so it's a dynasty now.
And they've followed through on all their campaign promises, and now everybody gets Alpo twice a day.
Well, hey, I mean, honestly, a dog might be a better mayor than some of the people who get that position.
Well, when King Charles ascended to the throne, I took a poll in the UK about who did they want: King Charles, bring the Queen back as a zombie, or turn everything over to the corgis. Yeah, well, the corgis won by a huge margin. They had more than the zombie and the King Charles put together. They got like 75% of the vote.
Well, unfortunately, monarchies are not chosen by democratic vote usually, although there are exceptions where a king may be democratically elected, such as in Luxembourg.
Yeah.
All right, I just want to point out one thing, though. America did have a very important political milestone recently.
We did.
It's probably not, I mean, maybe you know where I'm going with this, but while the Dutch were the first country to eat their prime minister, we are the first nation, as far as I know, where one of our citizens asked our vice president if he wanted to...
If he wanted to what?
If he wanted to fuck a couch.
Oh, did they really?
Yes.
So did he answer yes?
He was running away with.
I was going to say, I would assume that he avoided the question without giving a definitive response.
Let's face it. Right now, Vermin Supreme is looking like the rational choice to have.
I'm sorry. Say that again.
Vermin Supreme is looking like the rational choice to have.
Not for
Oh, the person in the picture.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
sounds good.
Yes, but Cthulhu for America is promising if we vote for him, we'll never have to breathe again.
But he's going to give us ponies.
Yeah, what we need candidates like the UK has. Like Lord Buckethead and Count Binface.
I have to step away for a minute.
Yeah, we need something like a trash container to run for president. Actually, that would be very appropriate if we elected a trash container to clean up after Trump.
Or a diaper bin.
Yeah.
All right, to be fair, I don't know that he's incontinent.
I still can't get over that trend that a lot of his followers were wearing diapers, and they printed up T-shirts that said "Real men wear diapers."
Well, even if he were incontinent, he's a 78-year-old man. I mean,
yeah. So yeah, if he was, I wouldn't pay any attention to it anyway. Yeah, it's just a medical condition that he's got. But just the fact that his followers were trying to make diapers manly.
Well, the maxi pad on the ear thing was a trend that bugged me more.
The what?
When he got shot at and he had the big bandage and everybody was wearing bandages.
Yeah. Well, and actually I did know one I guess chronological adult, that he was of adult age, but I don't know if I would necessarily apply the label any further than that. Who did at times wear a diaper for his video gaming so that he wouldn't necessarily have to get up.
But yeah, he was definitely milking that whole thing with the big oversized bandage. I think just barely grazed him.
Well, and that he legitimately said that his entire ear had been blown off and it grew back 2 days later. And
missed that one.
Yeah. And that the doctors were amazed at how fast he had healed, that they had never seen anyone regrow an ear, but he did it.
I have seen a lot of doctors comment on Trump and are amazed by him. Usually not in good ways.
More recent videos I've seen is more heavy foundation that doesn't match his skin in color and his hand looking like it's turning blue.
I mean, how hard is it when you go into an alt? First of all, he's the president. How can he not afford makeup artists? Secondly, even I learned, after a while, it's like the foundation has to match your skin tone as close as possible.
Yeah. That was one of the first things I learned about makeup. Be able to have a foundation close enough to your skin tone that when you feather out the edges, people can't tell where the foundation ends and where your actual skin is.
I don't even do makeup, I know that.
Well, and secondly, Trump, I know you're never going to listen to me, but no healthy person's skin tone is orange.
Yeah.
That's not orange, that's bronze.
It's orange.
No. The package said bronze.
I mean, seriously, when he first came on the scene, I didn't want to make fun of his his skin condition because I didn't realize it was makeup. I thought he just had a legitimate skin condition that made his face look like that.
Well, maybe he's from Tamaran.
Tamaran, what not book or movie is that from?
It's the place where Starfire is from.
Ah, yeah.
Hey, I just got back in and reading back. What did I blaspheme, Ember? I mean, blasphemy is one of my hobbies, but
Oh, yeah, that goes a bit back to when we were talking about charisma, apparently. Sorry, I wasn't watching the side chat for a bit there. But actually, I was just noticing the time and realizing I will have to wrap this up pretty soon because I have a group meeting tonight. So, should we do the round table here on purpose? You have anything going on? Anything you want to plug?
Well, none of you live near me to come see me do the stand-up routines every Friday night. And if you did, I would probably tell you anyway, but I have been posting little jokes on Clapper because Clapper's like a TikTok-like app because I can't be on TikTok because my students will find me there because they're all on TikTok.
But you figure nobody knows what Clapper is, so you're safe there?
Well, Clapper doesn't let people under 17 join.
Oh, okay.
So if you want to follow me there, it's Mad Computer Scientist. Right now I don't have time to devote a lot of time to my YouTube channel because between grad school and my job, so I haven't been that. But if you want to follow that, it's at Mad Computer Scientist 1 here on YouTube. And if for some reason I'm not able to do my job anymore or just something happens to it, I will probably return to my original channel, The Sinister Porpoise. When you think of Sinister Porpoises, think of The Sinister Porpoise.
I always do.
What's your favorite fish?
Which fish gives a steak?
Tuna.
Salmon, tuna.
No, real steak, not fishy steak.
I don't know.
We've got dogfish. I don't know if we have a cowfish.
It was a joke.
Somebody had a picture up on
Yep.
Twitter yesterday of a 2-pound steak in the meat cooler at the store.
Because
$45 fucking dollars.
Yeah.
Because despite my name, I'm not a big fan of seafood.
Cowfish.
So we do have a cowfish, and it looks kind of like the shape of a steak.
Bees that suck out its eyes.
Be excellent to each other, and so long, and thanks for all the fish.
Yeah, Aunt Drew is recommending that you try whale.
Wouldn't that be cannibalism?
No.
Well, no, it wouldn't be cannibalism any more than it would a human eating a chimpanzee.
Which a lot of humans would find that a little too close for comfort.
I do know somebody who's eaten monkey before, and apparently when you skin it and all the arm looks like a child's.
Yep. I have seen some of them prepared, and yeah, the way they look, I couldn't do it, but in some countries, they eat them.
And Jeffrey Dahmer is opening a restaurant.
Where in hell?
So let us go on. My unfinished song. I know you've got a project that you're working on that's going to be some time coming, but where are we at here?
So as I was telling Jenny and Mage earlier when you were
yeah, I was listening.
Out,
I was listening.
Okay. Yeah, I've almost got enough singers rounded up to fill all the spots. And I need to get the music editing software to and start putting out the I do have the backing track from the Humanist Guitarist, so I need to send that out with instructions to everybody.
Okay, so you got the background track. That's good.
Yeah. But I haven't actually listened to it yet.
Yeah, but it'll at least keep everyone on the same beat.
Yeah.
Have you ever tried, or are you aware of GarageBand?
I asked Humanist Guitarist about GarageBand compared to Audacity, and he said that he doesn't personally have experience with either one of those, but he thought either one of those would do the job.
Well, GarageBand is free.
So is Audacity.
So is Audacity. Which type of computer do you have? Because that makes a difference.
I've got a Windows machine.
All right, so unless I'm mistaken, GarageBand is an Apple's piece of software. So let me look something.
Oh, is it? Yeah.
But
Audacity
there is a Windows version of it.
Yeah, Audacity is the one that I use when I've done edited videos. Mostly, it's pretty easy to pick up if you haven't worked with one before. But I did need to get some help on, how to use the filters.
No, it looks like GarageBand is not directly on Windows PC, so you probably want to go with Audacity.
Okay.
But the GarageBand on the iPad also gave you instrument-like interfaces so you can play it. So Audacity does not do that.
Mm.
And I don't have an iPad yet. My only mobile device is an Android phone.
I could send you an iPad if you'd like. No, I'm serious. I have an older iPad Air somewhere around here that I'd be more than willing to pass on to you.
Well, you could discuss that offline if you want to make that exchange.
Let me think about that.
Okay.
Okay, Jenny, have you been doing stuff on TikTok, or what have you got going?
Well, I was, but then the administration caught me and I was banned. So now
I'm surprised it took them so long.
Me too. It was like years. No, I'm not doing anything special these days, to be honest. I've been enjoying sleeping a lot lately. The depression is finding a nice, major part in my life, and I like to feed it.
How is your toe healing? I saw that you said about having the staples removed.
Yes, I had all 7 staples removed, and it's just like there's still sutures in there, but at least it didn't need the strength of steel to hold my toe together anymore. And the doc says it's healing well, and he's not expecting any complications at this point. But
okay, so no sign of infection. They got all the troublesome parts out.
No, the only bad thing about my body right now is that Trump keeps bouncing around in my brain.
Yeah, unfortunately, people constantly remind me of him.
He'll do it on his own if no one else does.
Yeah, well, that's why sometimes you don't see me posting for a day or two. That sometimes I just have to get away from the social media because it's the only way to avoid all that for a little while.
You know, for somebody in Trump's generalized age group, God damn it, it's going to be so embarrassing if he outlives me.
See, there's your goal in life, to outlive Trump.
Well, you know, Jenny, if nothing else, you should see if you can take him with you.
No, don't even talk like that online.
Yeah, that's not.
Yeah, and even if I could get away with it, I wouldn't do it because that's just not my morality.
Yeah.
But if somebody else wants to, no, never mind.
Okay, anyway, Mage, what have you got brewing for your channel?
Well, I'm trying to get things put together. I've got some plans for a show on AI in movies like that. I'm not sure if I'll get it done for this week, but I'm gonna shoot for it. I have to come up with some kind of backup plan. Otherwise, it's on Sundays at 8 p.m. on Mage's Media Musings.
Well, you could review the movie AI and then talk about the current state of AI.
Actually, I just recently watched Megan 2.0.
I haven't seen that one.
Oh,
Me either.
Hearing people talk about AI if they have no understanding of it is pretty painful.
Mm-hmm. Well, I trust that Mage will do a decent amount of research for any topic he covers.
Yeah, but it's so perfectly descriptive of the level of intelligence in most of America today. Artificial intelligence.
Yeah, well, it's because we're lacking in so much of the organic stuff that we've had to do that.
Hey. Keep in mind that what we're trying to do with artificial intelligence is convince you that you're not talking to a machine when you are. And we've done an excellent job of that because only a person would confidently tell you to use super glue to keep pepperoni on pizza.
I had not heard that one.
Mage, what was that? What was that app that you just put the DM up about? That on the fly AI cheater for who you are, replacing you with Taylor Swift and stuff.
What?
Didn't you just put something up on the DM?
No.
About some AI generator.
That one where the person used an AI, kind of like a vlogger thing, huh?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's pretty disturbing. Those were near impossible to tell that they were artificial, and I think the only reason I could is because I knew what they were to begin with.
Well, it has it in the bottom screen. I can pull that up.
Yeah, and those criminals will put it on the bottom screen too. Yeah, bring up an example. People should be aware of this. This is
well, you can play that little video clip to show people what we're able to do.
This is a whole new level of faking it.
So you have the person in the bottom corner who's the real person there, and then you have this is what we're seeing. The woman is AI. So it's basically the kind of same thing with the these vloggers, like kind of like what Sirius does with his thing.
Yeah,
Same thing, but it's much. Yeah, it's just a much more realistic version.
Yeah, that the avatars are extremely realistic.
Well, and did you put up that other one where the person pumps in Taylor Swift instead of themselves?
No, I didn't put that one up.
I haven't seen the Taylor Swift one, but this is unsettling. That
it's got her down and her voice.
I have seen one that was much earlier on where they imitated Obama.
Yeah, and the scammers are using this kind of stuff. So these days, even if you get a phone call from somebody, a relative or something, you have to kind of wonder if you're actually talking to the person or if it's somebody faking them.
Uh-huh.
If you get a relative calling and saying that they need money right away, you'd better find a way to verify it's really them. The best thing to do would be to hang up and call them back.
I'm safe from that because not all my relatives know I haven't got a dime. So if I get a relative asking for money, then it's not my relative.
Tsunami says I have a whole AI family album with photos and videos across multiple years.
I would really hate to win the lotto in a state where you can't stay anonymous.
Yeah. Yeah, that would be a pain for the rest of your life, even long after all the money were gone.
Yeah, that is becoming more and more common nowadays.
Yeah, Tsunami. There are some that are, well, like I said before, scary. They're scary good. I mean, somebody could start a fucking war with the quality of these things.
Yeah, well, and that it's going to be a major problem even for next year's election. You know, that people can fake the candidates saying things they never said, and they'll have the video clips online. So, you know, how many people are going to believe the fakes just because they saw a video of it?
Here's one way we'll know that Trump's didn't really say something. If it's a complete sentence and it makes sense, Trump didn't say it.
That's true. Did any of you watch his UN speech yesterday?
I saw clips of it. I didn't see the whole thing.
I watched the beginning of it live, and his first 3 minutes were everything he said was an absolute lie.
Yeah, I was gonna say someone on Clapper was commenting on one of my videos. It's like, why aren't you making fun of this thing Trump did? It's like, I can only make fun of Trump so many times in 30 seconds.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but Trump spews out bullshit faster than I can write a joke.
And it wasn't, I mean, it was just me catching up because I'm sure we all saw like supposedly the clip that got Jimmy Kimmel fired. And the point I was making, it's like, you know, maybe we're all wrong about Trump and he should have been offended. Because after all, don't we all grieve for our closest friends by engaging in construction projects nobody wants?
We're entering an era in which our enemies can make it look like anyone is saying anything at any point in time, even if they would never say those things. So, for instance, they could have me say things like, I don't know, Killmonger was right, or Ben Carson is in the sunken place, or how about this? Simply, President Trump is a total and complete dipshit. Now, see, I would never say these things.
Yes, you would.
At least not in a public address. But someone else would. Someone like Jordan Peele. This is a dangerous time. Moving forward, we need to be more vigilant with what we trust from the internet.
Yep.
It's a time when we need to rely on trusted news sources. It may sound basic, but how we move forward in the age of information is going to be the difference between whether we survive or whether we become some kind of fucked up dystopia. Thank you. And stay woke, bitches.
Well, in this case, I think we knew Jordan Peele wanted to make sure people knew it wasn't real.
Yeah, that one
is brilliant.
That's the reason why he put himself side by side there, but it still hits home with what we can do with this kind of thing. I believe that was an earlier version where it was not really accessible to most people, but it's getting to where it is getting accessible to most people.
It's like, I wouldn't do that, but Jordan Peele would.
Well, that Obama one was out like 2 years ago, wasn't it?
A little longer than that.
So, yeah. Yeah, so things have advanced and been refined more.
Well,
so
the problem is the companies are trying to say, oh, yes, you can trust us. It's like, no, we cannot trust companies to regulate themselves. We tried that.
Yeah.
It was called the Gilded Age for a reason. Not because it was golden, but because there was a gold veneer over everything, and things were bad for everyone else.
Yeah. Okay, so Mage, we kind of went off track with the AI. Did you have anything more you wanted to plug?
No, not really.
Okay.
Wait a minute. How about that tutu you bought yesterday?
I didn't buy a tutu.
You were going to model it for us and stuff?
No. You're thinking of the Toxic Avenger.
Okay,
Oh,
Jenny.
Sorry, you're right. You're right.
When the dress I have for the wedding I have to attend in October comes, I'll send it to Mage, and he can take a picture of himself wearing it just to satisfy your whatever particular need that needs to satisfy for you.
I need a new vibrator. That's all.
I'm not sure if Mage would be okay with what Jenny might use it for.
I don't think there's any way Mage is going to wear that dress. So.
A friend of mine is going to a wedding this weekend. My friend Mary, who drives me around. She you know how bridesmaid dresses are usually so ungodly awful.
Yeah.
Her wedding party actually picked an extremely tasteful, beautiful dress, and I'm jealous.
Yeah, it's one of the things about the whole wedding thing that's gotten out of hand is having each member of the wedding party expect to spend what is often like a couple $100 on a dress that would be impossible to wear to anything else. Can we at least get it to be a standardized uniform so, like, the bridesmaids can wear the same one to every wedding they go to?
I'm sure they'll legislate that soon.
Okay, well, yeah, I don't have anything going on myself. I'll just be here again next week at the same time. So, and everybody in the side chat, remember that any of you are always welcome to come in and join us. You know that if we're running and you don't see a link, just ask, and Major I can send you a link.
Same purple time, same purple channel.
$100,000 for a wedding party. Yeah, okay, that's the note we're going out on.
Nuh-uh.